welcome back to the channel. Food. Thanks for tapping in. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe for videos like this.
This sun, I've never got this image before with my phone. It looks pretty strange like this, with this big halo around it.
Now it's better. I have never seen anything like this in my life.
My God.
Far out.
Someone is playing the piano. What the fuck are you doing?
When they said I was a clone, that made me flip in the hospital. That's it. These motherfuckers is trying to clone me. I didn't have a stroke. So I'm sitting in the hospital bed like these. And then I saw me walk into my room. But I'm white, so I see the white me.
But he had a Caesar too, just like you?
all that, the white me.
Okay, gotcha.
And I'm like, and I'm trying to get their attention, and no one said anything. And I'm like, that's it.
I'm sure there's nothing to see there. I'm sure Jamie Foxx was just being sarcastic. He was just joking about how they tried to clone him, right? But there are a lot of weird things. For instance, where did his head tattoo go? And you've got to admit that he looked very different when he got out of the hospital. I guess that's why he starred in a movie like this right here, because he was telling you truth in plain sight. Or even the fact that he starred in a movie like this, and look at this poster right here. A coffin shape, I mean, come on. But again, I guess Jamie Foxx was just joking in that clip because, again, that's what he does. It's good to see that he's doing so good. What do you think about this? It's always truth in plain sight. Wake up.
It's real schmeal. I deliver Amazon. These is real packages. This is the second time I've been to the house. Look, nothing is out of these. All these packages is full. Whatever we deliver, they in the package. It say to the front door. I can't get to the front door. I don't know if somebody covering up some murder or something. But look, all of them is everything we deliver, look, it's still in the box. What the fuck is going on, man? If I come back here and it's like this again, I'm gonna start to wonder, is it something going on? Like, is somebody covering a murder up? Is somebody really living in this place? All packages, I can't even make it. I'm gonna take it to the steps like I did before, close, and leave it at that, man. But this is a scary spot that you need your weapon in when you deliver, for sure.
Why do Lucky Charms look like cat food? I mean, ignore the marshmallows. Just look at the cereal. Why does it look like that? Now, the official story is that somebody in the 1960s just cut up some circus peanuts and mixed them with some Cheerios. But what if there was more to the story? What if I told you they had a very expensive factory full of very expensive machinery and they didn't want to throw it away? So they said, hey, let's make a kid's cereal, but we got to disguise it, right? So they added the marshmallows to distract us. Without them, you wouldn't eat them. But your cat might.
This massive creepy mural near Los Angeles is almost the length of a football field, and it features nearly every horror movie villain you can think of. This is part 2 of our creepy mural tour across Los Angeles, and this next one is nearly 300 feet long. I couldn't even fit it all on camera, and it features 33 straight up horror movie icons. People like Michael Myers, Jason, Frankenstein, the Bride of Frankenstein, the Crypt Keeper, Pennywise, Jack Torrance, Hellraiser, Wolfman, Chucky. I could keep going. This thing just goes on forever. It's really like a family reunion from hell. This mural is located on Valley Boulevard in La Puente. But beware, this place has a really creepy vibe. I came in the middle of the day, but the energy just felt dark. Luckily, you can view this mural directly from the Metrolink train between El Monte and Baldwin Park train stations. You get a really good view of the entire mural from the train as it passes. It's much safer, and you don't even have to leave your seat. Well, that's it for this video. But if you want to keep up as I visit every horror-related mural across Los Angeles, hit that follow button.
Trying to do a delivery, and how do you deliver to a door that's all the way there? Pretty wild.
Six fiery, unidentified objects ripped across the skies in 6 different places in the last 7 days alone, and nobody in power is saying a word. One just slammed Los Angeles, making drivers slam on their brakes and claw for their phones in pure panic. People swore it was SpaceX, but 0 launches happened and NASA is dead silent. Then right after, another UFO ripped through Dallas, exploded in a blinding white light before it touched the ground. Same exact thing happened in Turkey, Australia, Ohio, and Pennsylvania this week. Identical weird streaks, same unexplained flashes, total blackout from every expert. 6 in 6 spots in 1 week. Now what does this mean? Cause
don't think I've ever seen this before. Jeff, have you ever seen?
I have not.
Shot block with a shoe?
No.
And
Blocking that shot was his sole purpose.
Alright, this is creeping me out a little bit, but I don't know if it's a sign. My projector's on, but it's not connected to anything. There's no cable box, there's no AirPlay, there's nothing attached to it. And it's got a picture of Jesus and his wise men, the Last Supper. What is going on right now? What message are you trying to send me, Lord? There's nothing attached to this at all. Like, what?
The one source creator divides itself into the many for the joy of observing itself through our unique eyes of perspective. And why is that? Well, because an eye can't see itself without the aid of a mirror. If a fire can't burn itself, a knife can't cut itself. Likewise, consciousness cannot perceive itself without dividing itself into
They're not clones. It's worse than that. Everyone's talking about celebrity clones, but what if I told you it's not cloning? It's something the Bible warned us about 3,000 years ago. And you've seen it. Your favorite artist suddenly acts different, or your favorite actor, a different energy, different eyes, and people say they cloned them. But listen, cloning is the cover story for what's actually happening. The Canaanites practiced child sacrifice to Moloch, but it wasn't just killing. In Leviticus 18 and 21, they call it passing through the fire. They were performing soul transfer rituals, harvesting life force and putting entities into other bodies. That technology never died. It just went underground. When someone signs their life away to the industry, that's a covenant. It's a trauma-based programming, and it fractures the original soul. And rituals create the opening. The original person dies spiritually, and a prepared entity walks its way on in the same body but a different driver. And that's why they seem off. In Mark 5:9, it says legion, multiple entities in one body, familiar spirits. In Leviticus 19:31, it says demons that mimic the person they replaced. This isn't new. It's ancient Canaanite tech repackaged for entertainment industrial complex. It explains sudden personality changes, lost memories, and different mannerisms, and doing unspeakable things without remorse, because their conscious left, and what's operating now is something else entirely. They don't clone bodies, they steal them, and you're watching it happen in real time.
So there is an author by the name of Philip K. Dick. He wrote a ton of books. Yeah. So he actually had some of his books turned into movies. It's adaptations, but he had a book, Blade Runner. So Philip had this extensive dissertation to where he explained how reality worked. And all these books are actually based off of the information that he has and past experiences. He had an experience to where it came through this girl's, like he visited somebody and their necklace shined like a light into his eye. The beam of light came off of there, hit him in the eye, and he saw this reddish, purplish beam. He says he got a bunch of information. One of the first things he knew was that his young son had a rare disease. Takes him to the doctor. Doctor goes, how did you know that your son had this rare disease? They caught it early and saved his son's life. So by that simple thing right there, that piece of evidence to where he knew his son was sick and saved his life and it was real, that's when he started writing. Then he said that the way he got this information wasn't just downloads, but it was coming from this hyper intelligent system. He called it Valis.
He called it who?
Valis.
Valis stands for Vast Active Living Intelligence System.
There you go.
What does that sound like?
AI!
How did he come up with this before AI was even a figment of anyone's imagination?
All this information that he got from this being. He says there's a programmer. Life is a chessboard, and there's a programmer that sees all the moves.
God.
And then there's a dark force that looks like it's always winning, but in the end, the light wins. The programmer wins because the programmer knows all the moves and they're necessary moves for a greater good. He says that we are existing in parallel universes all at the same time. He's saying that deja vu is actually us getting upgraded and we're moving into a new timeline or existence, because every time we get an upgrade, we are moving to a better, more perfect existence.
When you think about heaven and hell, what if this is already heaven? And that kind of gives credence to that. He's saying that it's basically shedding until it becomes perfect. This could already be heaven, and we're just getting closer to this perfect existence.
This is heaven and hell at the same time. I think when you have religion and you have science together, that's the answer, because it's one and the same. When you think about scientists and professors and all this, they're so enrooted in logic. This is how things work, so it can't be a God and this and this and that. And then the religion people, God says this and that's what it is.
Just have faith, and which is fine, but
it's really both.
Yeah, they have to exist amongst each other. They're kind of one and the same.
He's just saying that essentially there is parallel universes. This is why we have the Mandela effect and whatever you want to call it, only because we are shedding the old world and getting to a better, more perfect existence. So eventually that world becomes chaotic and full of chaos and hell, and that's what hell kind of becomes. Right. It's the shedding of everything else, and then heaven is essentially the perfect version of earth.
Oh my gosh, whoa. Look at that! It's like the sky's been split in half by that wall of cloud. I have never seen anything like this. It's so powerful and a little scary, but it's beautiful. Wow, it's like the sky just painted a masterpiece right now.
Y'all, this is part 2 of something strange is going on in the skies, and they are not saying nothing. Because why are we in a new week and I'm still hearing about flights being grounded in these different airports, y'all? Look at this, y'all. This is Miami International Airport. Check this out.
All flights are grounded in Miami Airport. All flights are grounded. We cannot leave. They said it's going to be 2 days before we can get back to Charlotte from Miami. If you're in Miami, don't come to the airport. It's like,
look at that.
It's insane.
Look at the TSA line JFK, bro. Look at this. What is going on? What are they not telling us? They say there's a 12-hour layover for people who are flying Spirit in Fort Lauderdale. This person has been there for 12 hours, bro. Look. Did y'all hear about that power outage that happened in Denver International Airport? A power outage though, bro? What is happening in them skies? The meteors, bro? Look at outside Fort Lauderdale. Look at outside Fort Lauderdale International Airport. Bro, even in Puerto Rico. Even in Puerto Rico, what? They told us to watch the skies. They've been putting in these movies that these planes and these satellites are coming and falling out of the skies. And now we're having these quote unquote meteors doing this now. The satellites have been doing this and we've been seeing the little planes fall out of the sky now too, bro. Something is going on in the sky that they're not telling us.
I show up almost 6 hours early for my flight and still stressed about missing. No, seriously, look at this. This video is sped up 2.6x. and it's still taking forever. Child, the TSA line was so long, it went from check-in, past baggage claim, and all the way down to passenger pickup. Like, huh? At this point, the line looks like it's about to leave the airport itself, okay? And you know the lines were long because from time to time, you had people set up in little carts passing out waters and snacks to keep us from passing out. Because some of us had been standing in line for 4 hours. Even the news showed up. I don't think anybody has ever seen anything.
Apparently, I'm finding out there are 400 plus flights canceled worldwide, bro. Did y'all hear about this? Y'all, we've been noticing the sky has been changing. We even said the clouds are a lot closer, the sun's a lot closer. Something strange is happening in the skies. See, y'all, this shift is picking up even more because planes not being able to fly, that's a really big deal. Because you already know that the planes use the magnetic ley lines of the earth to be able to fly and know what's going on. The shift is here, man. Let me know what you guys think about this video, man. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
Mickey Mouse hooting and hollering.
You can get into the industry and not sell your soul, and that's why you see people not staying around long. They said no. They're like, nah, I ain't doing it. Oh, you want that? No. And they take your career away. They like, all right, cool, you cut.
Yeah.
But the ones who did do it, you know, that's why it's not everybody. It depends on what happens when that game. They'll give you some opportunity, like you said, to get you in there and be like, you'll start living the lifestyle. They'll give you a taste.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that shit tastes good. You know what I mean? They're like, all right, cool. Well, then here's the whole thing. You only get to live 2 years of this fame. Exactly. So we're getting your life ready for him because he wants that life. And he's old and he's ready for a new life.
Yeah.
And it's like this cycle of soul swap.
I want you to think about this, just like how you was talking about selling your soul. It could just be like conscious transfer, basically.
It's exactly what it is.
Because I'm not gonna lie, most celebrities, they not the same after a certain point. You can literally see, like,
you could tell something happened.
Two of them at once.
This is a special melon for $150. I don't know what this melon could possibly be or do to be $150. But it is the crown melon. Has anyone ever tried the crown melon? I would be afraid to cut it.
Ay, nanita, qué feo está el chaneque ese. Mira sus ojos cómo brillan, ya nos cachó robándose la feria.
Let me tell you this. Right?
Yeah.
Take of this what you like.
Yep.
Yeah. I was in bed with a woman, and that's it. That's the end of my story. No, I was in bed with a woman, right? I'm lying on the pillow, and I'm looking at her face, right? Her face turned into what I could only describe as a reptilian.
Now listen.
My face went, oh my God. She looks at me and she says, I'm not a reptilian. Boom! Take it, make of that what you will. That's what happened.
These scientists have now officially discovered that a single tea bag releases 11.6 billion plastic particles into your cup.
What we found was is that there are billions of micro and nano particles of plastics coming out of the tea bag.
So basically, these scientists just tested what happens whenever you steep a plastic tea bag in hot water at normal brewing temperature. They actually removed the tea leaves so that they wouldn't interfere with the project, and they heated the empty bag and then put the water in an electron microscope. One bag, one cup, they found 11.6 billion microplastics and 3.1 billion nanoplastics. That is nearly 15 billion particles from a single cup of tea. UK, are you okay? An official review that was published in Food Chemistry found that even bags labeled cellulose or biodegradable still release significant amounts. They found that many of the standard paper-looking bags are sealed with a heat-resistant plastic that holds the seams together in hot water, so whenever water boils it, it releases. The math is mathin'. Now this is the part that most people don't think about because nanoplastics are small enough to pass through your intestinal wall and enter your bloodstream. That's why microplastics are a problem. The researchers that are handling this entire project said that the plastic levels in tea were thousands of times higher than what's been found in other foods.
Hey, AI is starting to falsely accuse people of crimes, and they are going to jail for it. This woman was put into jail for nearly 6 months down there for a crime that she did not commit. She lives in Tennessee, and the crime happened in North Dakota, who smart people now have picked up on the fact that Tennessee is not in North Dakota. Someone in North Dakota walked into a bank with a fake military ID and tried to withdraw tens of thousands of dollars. And they ran security footage through a AI facial recognition software, and that software scanned this woman's social media posts and said, she's kind of sort of the type of person, she almost matches, that's got to be the culprit. So they traveled 1,200 miles to arrest this person. And then she spent nearly 6 months in jail until her attorney was able to produce a bank statement showing that at the date of the crime, she was in Tennessee buying cigarettes. She could not have been in North Dakota, 1,200 miles away, to commit that bank fraud.
I know you see that.
If a bone was broken and a person sat within the pyramid, the bone would begin to regenerate. Oh yeah. So when they go and you and slice you and turn you in half and all those other things, well, they don't tell you that your bones can regenerate sitting in pyramids. So anytime you're having focus issues, sitting in a pyramid can actually be very beneficial. It can also get rid of inflammation. It can get rid of headaches. It can get rid of pain. So pets can sit in pyramids. This was really cool. You also can preserve food with pyramids, if you didn't know. This was watering plants with pyramid water, and he knows that the pyramid water would make plants grow 3 times the size. Anytime a person would drink pyramid water, they would get cranked up. And I've started to realize that the pyramid shape is the same as the uranium energy. The pyramid, the actual shape of the pyramid, targets the energy in the center, which is just like uranium, so you get the ionization, and then that's what causes the boost in the growth. And then also the ability to preserve food. It slows everything down. It's funny because pyramids can slow everything down. They can preserve cheese, it can preserve milk, it can preserve meat, it can preserve fruit.
Нет! Ушел! Ушел! Ушел!
Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, very brave guy.
Damn, that guy is brave.
Guys. Rebecca?
Sorry.
Yeah, please.
Now I know y'all lying. I go to get my next package. It's this box. Cat water? Cat? All right. I swear to God, yo. This what y'all be having me deliver? This what I be coming down these little ass blocks and... no, I'm done. I'm done. This diabolical. Cat water? I didn't even know they had cat water.
And who's going to check the price on Amazon?
If you believe, if you know that this plane is covered with the firmament, then asteroids and meteors go out the window. Now, let's talk about it. Is the homeland under attack? Because looking at that video, it kind of looks just like what they show us from Iran and is not real. Since we know that this planet is covered with the firmament, if you're Christian, you have to believe it. They call it heaven. Heaven is the firmament, all right? It's the dome that covers this place, the arch-like dome that protects us. Now, if you know that we're under a firmament, then you should also know that asteroids and meteors can't touch us. These are just names of objects that some human has launched through the air, allegedly. Now, the true question is the United States under attack and our government not saying anything? Do you think that our government would keep this and just tell us it was a meteor? Now, me personally, I don't think our government would ever come out and tell us that we were being attacked and had missiles being launched at the lower 48, because that would make them look weak, extremely weak. And not only that, we'd also know that they might have bitten off a little more than they could chew this time. And the United States citizens are the ones who's going to bear the cost of this war, literally and figuratively.
What is going on? What is going on? Oh my god. Dude, that was a...
Holy fucking shit! God damn! Great job, you did. Thank you so much.
I'm back here March 27th.
Have you seen the new domain name that the government just registered for a website? Alien.gov. If you go there, this is what you're going to see. Clearly, it's not live right now, but you know it's raising questions. Remember, just last month, the president said he's ordering the Pentagon to release a bunch of files related to UFOs and aliens. We are out to the White House for comment. They got back to us writing, "Stay tuned!" ! Alien emoji.
To get away from you. I want to know how the fuck you found me.
I'll always find you. I'll always find you no matter fucking what, Blake. I will always fucking find you. You could go to fucking China and guess who's gonna fucking find you? Me.
No, the president asked me to come and make sure you were okay.
Yes, Mike. Yes, I'm alive.
I checked that, and I'm happy to see that. But he wanted to make sure because, you know, you guys get along too well.
I know, and we shake hands with 5 fingers in each hand. You know, but I have to tell you, I'm alive.
And I'm not tweaking. When you know, you know.
All in like a single file line.
If Atlantis was Antarctica and they had such a high level of civilization, look at the Baalbek platform in Lebanon. There is a platform which consists of 3 1,300-ton stones. 19 cranes of the highest industrial grade that we have today can't lift and move one of these. That gives you a sense of the level of engineering capability of the civilization. It's beyond ours. If you're a civilization that advanced, why do you isolate yourself to Antarctica? Antarctica is a place that's completely isolated, and it's sort of hidden away from all the other continents of the planet to the extent that we did not discover it until like the 1800s. If they were time travelers, they needed to isolate themselves from the timeline. You might decide to quarantine yourself to a place where you're not going to be observed by the other evolving societies on Earth, and Antarctica would be the ideal place.
Something bad's going to happen March 26. That's the date. I've been saying that the blackout might happen. Blackout equals 85, and on the 85th day of the year is March 26. Kind of weird that that is out there. So this movie's coming out, shout out to Coke Zero, called Something Very Bad Is Going to Happen, coming out on March 26. These are the Sampaku Eye that something bad is about to happen.
The owner of this eerie photo explained that after years of hearing strange noises in the kitchen, they finally snapped a picture using their Samsung's night mode in total darkness, only to discover something chilling in the image.
When they first introduced sunglasses, it started triggering a massive increase of cancer. So it has everything to do with cancer. You are filtering out certain rays of the sun which are supposed to enter, you're blocking them out. And the pineal gland, which receives the light in a different color formation, that means the entire spectrum of light. It is necessary for the body to have that light, the basic metabolic processes. Also, you have to allow UV light to come in. When you do that, you are producing a hormone in the brain that is responsible for the melanin production in your skin. So that's where your skin protection occurs. If you are not producing that, your skin becomes susceptible to even sunlight.
Basically, from what I understand, virtual reality, you can play a horror game in your own home where it's overlaying the game in your house. And to me, that just feels like there's some kind of at least indirect connection to another realm that when you're playing with this, the other side sees and might take advantage of the situation. I could go into so many different things with this, but they could start attacking you in your dreams where you believe that you're still playing the game. Only the game in your dream is actually an attack happening to you for real. They could also start playing on your sanity. Where you're no longer wearing the goggles, maybe you took them off to take a breather, and you start seeing things in your house, and you're like, wait, hold on. That's supposed to be just on there, and now you're wondering, are you going crazy? Are you actually seeing it? What's happening, right? And so that's what I mean. I feel like there's going to be a bag opened with this kind of stuff that will lead to other things.
I agree completely, and I think that that's very important because something I try to reiterate with my audience is that spirits aren't bound by space, time, and matter like we are. You know, I think demons or entities out there are kind of like flies on the wall. They watch, you know, what makes this person tick, you know, what's this person into. And if it's, you know, like you mentioned Ouija boards, you know, 100 years ago, that's what you had, you know, a piece of wood or whatever it may be. Now we've moved into the technology age, and it's just a different kind of communication. So I think they sit and watch, they observe, they learn people and how to essentially attack, you know.
Meu Deus, meu Senhor, me ajuda.
would have sworn he'd said, "Oh, I really need that."
The UK is now facing an unprecedented outbreak according to health officials. And to make it even more concerning, those who have died and are currently most at risk from this outbreak are students. So here's what's going on. On Sunday, UK health officials announced that there was a serious outbreak of meningitis in the city of Canterbury, which they have now declared a national incident. Meningitis causes inflammation of the protective membranes that surround the brain and spinal cord, and its side effects includes things like sudden high fever, stiff neck, severe headache, nausea, vomiting, sensitivity to light, etc. Now, this recent outbreak in particular is being described by health officials as unprecedented due to its explosive nature, and the Times even described it as the worst meningitis outbreak in a generation. So far, 2 people have died who were only 18 and 21, and 13 more are in hospital, and the majority of other cases so far have all been linked back to what authorities believe was its place of origin, a nightclub in Canterbury called Chemistry. They describe this as a super spreader event because meningitis can be passed through kissing, sharing vapes, or drinks. Now, you're probably wondering why the hell this is happening, because meningitis has been in the UK for decades. Well, there's actually multiple strains. For example, Men C was vaccinated against in 1999, and cases dropped by about 96%. And interestingly, vaccinations for this strain were only introduced by the NHS for children who were born after 2015, meaning if you were older than 11 or 12, which is the majority of the UK population, you will likely not have this vaccination. And you know, with Men B having a concerning death rate of 1 in 10, the University of Kent have cancelled their exams, and huge long queues can be seen lining up for antibiotics. The UK's Deputy Chief Medical Officer said that it was the quickest growing outbreak he had ever seen in his entire career. And while contracting meningitis is very serious, the UK Secretary is saying that the risk of it spreading nationally is very low. But of course, as this situation develops, I'll keep you guys updated.
Never put Vaseline anywhere on your skin. It's called petroleum jelly because it's literally made from petroleum, the same stuff used to make gasoline and plastic. Apparently, I am fear-mongering because I'm talking about a product that doctors swear is perfectly safe. They never really do the work to actually look at updated research. Science evolves. Ingredients get reevaluated. People just love to say Vaseline is one ingredient, but it contains fragrance. Fragrance isn't just this cute, harmless word. It can include hormone disruptors, carcinogens, and dozens of undisclosed chemicals, and the base, the petroleum jelly. Unless it's fully refined, which most drugstore versions are not, it can be contaminated with something called PAHs, which are known carcinogen compounds.
Do you have stuff that happens on set during the filming of this?
There's a place called Balaji, India. And my brother and I were doing research on a film, a random little town in the middle of nowhere. And we come in on a dirt road, and as far as we could see, people were lined up to go into this sanctuary. And they're all just lined up and waiting so patiently, and it's blistering hot. So my brother and I are led in, and there's a very large, muscular guy. He's probably 6'4". The darkest, most unholy expression I've ever seen in my face. And this man was chained to a wall. But what we noticed is he wasn't sweaty. So we go inside, and what they believe there is that once possessed, the possession will protect the body to not be damaged because it's the vehicle for the body. So people do supernatural things that would injure you or I. For example, this cute little girl about 9 years old is just giggling fanatically, and she's doing backflips in the air, but landing on her back and smacking her head. Bam! And she would stand up and do it again. Bam! And I'm just like, oh my God, no blood, nothing. But what happened is later we were having a tea, and that man with the eyes walks by with his arms around older people, like I'm assuming his mother and his father, laughing, laughing, laughing. Nothing looked the same on his face. Absolutely friendly, jovial, eyes that sparkled, and he was as close as you and I.
You are looking at the latest model of robotic bird spying drones. This footage comes from research published in the prestigious scientific journal Nature. This next gen of bird drone can not only fly like a bird, but walk and perch like a bird as well. Although these drones are getting better by the day, this concept is not new. Bird animatronics go back hundreds of years. But now these centuries-old curiosities are evolving into something far more advanced. Spy tech that can blend in with nature and be almost indistinguishable from real birds. I wonder how many bird spy drones are already out there.
You believe there was reason to investigate foreign ties to Charlie Kirk's murder and were told by the FBI, DOJ?
FBI and DOJ, yeah.
No, you're not allowed to investigate that.
Stop. It's done. Basically cut off our access to be able to get into that information. I didn't even say necessarily that I believe there's 100% foreign ties. There were data points that we needed to investigate that pertained to some kind of a foreign nexus that we were stopped from investigating.
That just strikes me as inconceivable that that could happen. What were you told was the reason to prevent you as a federal intelligence official from looking into the murder when you had reason to look into it?
We basically were told that, hey, we'll get back to you if we find any kind of foreign ties. Meanwhile, we had already dug up a decent amount of leads. Again, I'm not saying that we had anything concrete, but we found more work that we needed to do. We were then told, you guys need to stop. You can't work on this anymore.
Take a listen.
Hold on. I was sent this by a few people. Charlie Kirk was killed with a miniature explosive, likely made at Accurate Energetic Systems in Tennessee and purchased by the DoD for $425K in May of 2025. You can bet Steve Feinberg was involved in the planning of his public assassination. Well, I pulled all of Accurate Energy Systems contracts from usaspending.gov, and I found this one. This one, the address is in Tennessee. It is for miniature XS demolition devices, anti-personnel, SPM. That's what caught my attention. We're going to come back to that. The amount is $440,494. The procurement period, May of 2025 to August of 2025. So I went and looked up all other procurements because as somebody who has done DoD procurements before, that was a really odd amount of time. None of Accurate Energy Systems procurements were less than a year, except for this one, because that's not how they procure things. I went and did more digging. The contract was signed on April 22nd, 2025. A lot of weird things about this procurement. It was a simplified acquisition process, meaning did it quickly, and it was one bidder. They did not put it under any of the IDVs, which are the vehicles that they have for all the other hundreds of tens of millions of dollars that AES had with them. It gets worse. These devices are made for special operations forces, and the XS anti-personnel are tiny ones to kill people. They're put on people. If you want to get darker, Steve Feinberg, our deputy SecDev, well, his old company, Cerebus, owns the company, I forget the name of it, that trains the special operations forces on these detonation devices. He's the one who put protecting the blue and white country in his priorities as the same as protecting America. So you have a procurement that was signed April 22nd and started May 1st, ended August, for tiny devices to kill people. Forgot to mention that the plant that the address is at, well, it exploded a month after Charlie Kirk's assassination, and everyone in that plant died. No survivors. Correlation doesn't mean causality. I'm a big, big advocate of that. However, something doesn't smell right at all. So if someone knows more or can help me correct some of this or figure out what's...
That's when it all begins.
Okay, what the hell is this? This is the littlest bus I've ever seen in my entire life.
A lot of them. So I worked at a lot of different inpatient psychiatric hospitals. So many good-hearted, sensitive, empathic children feeling the world's frequency. It's too much for them. And their parents actually don't believe them. So when they say, Mom, I'm hearing things, I'm seeing things, they say, what's wrong with you? Obviously, the system says, take them to the hospital. Psychiatrist. The psychiatrist doesn't have time. They don't know anything about the invisible world. They put them on mind-numbing medications, dopamine blockers. And over a period of time, this stops working. And so it's like this cycle. And eventually they get thrown into what is like a prison, really. So there's what we call indigo children, and they're born in waves. Indigo 1, 2, 3. These days there's rainbow children, crystal children. And so they're born with dimension 4, 5, 6, their soul already online, which means that they can literally sense frequencies other people cannot. And in a third world country, when these children begin to hear voices and see things, they understand, the community understands that are connected to nature. These children have a gift with the invisible world. And if they are nurtured and they have a mentor who's been through and knows how to navigate it, and a community that doesn't diagnose them, label them, and put them on mind-numbing meds, but sees them and accepts them and nurtures them, these children become the local town shaman. And so when I was going into these inpatient psychiatric hospitals, I was seeing these empathic children. Some of them were grid workers and starseeds here to help humanity. And here they are, locked up on mind-numbing medications and turning mothers against their children and children against their mothers. And that's what our system does. And in all actuality, these are actually, sensitivity is their gift so that they can feel frequencies to help serve Mother Earth. And I'm not going to say it's all of them, but a lot of them. And I was literally going around to a lot of different psychiatric inpatient hospitals and seeing these kids. And that's why 2 weeks before I was about to become partner, I couldn't take it anymore and I quit. And I started praying for the liberation of all sentient beings and a new global paradigm of treats the root cause. Show me what I need to see, tell me what I need to do. And now there are technologies. And now people are waking up and they understand that these children are here to help humanity. We understand that the children are coming in super clear and connected. A lot of our parents and us have done the work to clear the karma and the trauma and to be able to hold space for them. And these are the kids. I mean, we're just setting the infrastructure. These are the kids who are going to, man, they're coming in hot, clear, are going to create the new earth. We just have to get out of their way and hold a space for them.
Yo, everyone be aware what type of movies they're pushing out now. Even the kid one, the new one, Hoppers. Everyone thinks it's like over the hedge type fun movie.
Yeah.
Fam, you know what it's preaching? It's putting human consciousness into robotic animal. You want to see a scene? Then tell me that since everyone's talking about skin swapping now, right? With Jim Carrey? Look.
What the
This
hell?
is one scene. The movie? This is animals wearing their human skin.
What the heck?
Look.
Whoa.
No, right? Yo, Gavin, no way that's an actual scene. No, that's a scene, fam.
Família, eu aluguei esse quartinho aqui, ó, pra mim. Muito aconchegante aqui, ó. Ali fica o banheiro. Aqui, ó, a cama aqui. Tá vendo? Fechar aqui a porta. A cama aqui. Muito aconchegante. Tem uma janelinha aqui, ó, que eu botei uma cortina nela, né? Que quando eu quero que entre um azinho aqui dentro do quartinho, o que é que eu faço? Vou mostrar vocês aqui. Eu amarro ela assim, ó, e abro a janela. E deixo a janela aberta, ó. Aqui, ó. Pra entrar um azinho puro, que é bom, né, de vez em quando. Aí eu fico aqui observando o tempo. E vocês sabem, né? A pessoa tá aqui. Nesse quartozinho não tem nada pra fazer, não tem nem televisão. Quer assistir um filme de terror, não tem como. Abre a janela. Abre a janela daqui do quartinho. E começa a assistir o seu filme de terror ao vivo. Com direito à aparição e tudo, ó lá, ó. Como se fosse uma mulher em pé ali, ó. Antes era uma sentada, agora tem uma em pé, tá vendo? A mulher morena, o rosto todo preto. É, nesse nível. Então, aqui na janelinha do futuro, aqui é tranquilo demais, rapaz. É R$2 um defunto misterioso, aparentemente aqui logo na lata, né? Aqui não é pros fracos, é pros fortes. Dormir aqui, você nem precisa ter visão e nem visagem, nem mediunidade, né? Porque pesadelo aqui é na certa. Você vai ter bastante pesadelo, bastante sujo. Já tô suando. E assim, qualquer barulho que fizer aqui serve de despertador, né? Acorda 3 horas da madrugada para ir no banheiro. Quem vai, não vai. Se for, é cantando glória, glória, aleluia. E é nesse nível. Aqui, ó. Tranquilidade, sossego, paz. Rapaz, melhor do que esse não tem não. Tem que ter uma funerária ali, ó. Tá vendo? Funerária a caminho do céu. Há um pé ao futuro. Olha lá. O bom é que em finados eu não vou nem precisar colocar a vela lá dentro do cemitério. Eu daqui da janelinha mesmo, acendo as 3 velas, deixo aqui, tá tudo certo. Então, o sossego é esse. E se eu quiser comer uma frutinha aqui, né? Eu vou ali no pé, cato um jambuzinho, ali umas mangas ali, espadas, manga rosa, que não tem coisa melhor, né? E, para completar, atrás daquela quadra ali, é a maternidade, é o hospital. Mas olha que aconchegante aqui, ó. Bem ventilado, arejado, a janelinha do futuro. O ruim é só para bater uma bronha, né? Porque para bater uma bronha, o cara vai estar sempre vigiado, né? Não dá nem para assistir uns videozinhos do Red lá, tá ligado? Que tu sabe, né?
And the ones bowing already lost a finger or two. Japan and for beginners. And that's a wrap for tonight, fool. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, don't forget to hit and smash the like button for me. Smash the subscribe button, be part of the family. Remember, stay woke, and I'll catch you next time.